When he was a 14-year-old in Ghana, and just his stance alone, before he had played the ball, I realized that this guy has got, he looks good. And he started to, he just caressed the ball.
Oh, that's a fine stroke. 6 runs. And that was a superb stroke by Hooper.
He kind of has that infuriating habit of getting out when he shouldn't, and no doubt his greatest supporters find themselves a bit frustrated at times when he should make more runs than he does.
Warren won't mind if he comes down and hits him over the top. Oh, Carl.
When he's on song, there's probably not a finer sight in the cricket world than Carl Hooper.
And that's well taken. That's a brilliant catch. That is a magnificent catch by Carl Hooper.
Great timer of the ball, such a sweet timer of the ball, and really, as I say, it looks so effortless.
Just pushing it through, that'll be 4. Prabhakar just cantering after it, but just pushed into the covers by Hooper.
I'm not really saying that I have fulfilled my potential or anything like that, but I think it's going to get better.
Carl Hooper has a rare cricketing talent. Very few are blessed with the special gift of supreme timing, the ability to hit the ball with apparently effortless power. Born and raised in Georgetown, Guyana, he loved sport and always looked forward to the visits of the West Indies team, an interest that was reciprocated by the captain, Clive Lloyd.
He always had a good word to say to me, so I suppose any young player getting a few good words from the West Indies captain, would cherish those and take it seriously.
A meteoric rise through youth cricket, his Test debut on his 21st birthday, and 12 days later, 100 not out in Calcutta. The cricketing world were ready to acclaim a new star. It was perhaps surprising, though, that his role models were not West Indians.
The 2 players that I really admired were not from the West Indies. I don't get me wrong, I enjoyed watching the West Indies play and so on, and it always thrilled me to watch them play. But my favourites were Gavaskar from India and Martin Crowe from New Zealand, simply for their styles and attitude and dedication to the game. Just watching Sunil Gavaskar open the batting for India, he was the, complete master in judgment and stuff like that, which was very important in those days, to me.
On occasions, Hooper has scaled the peaks of batsmanship.
I remember him making 177 against Pakistan at Antigua, and Wasim Akram said it's probably one of the best innings he's ever seen.
4 runs.
Well, that's gone for 6, I think. It has indeed. Well, that was an emphatic stroke, 6 runs.
And that's another one.
Certainly, people like Brian Lara and Carl Hooper, I think, are 2 of the batsmen I would pay to watch. They're beautiful players. Carl's a great stroke maker. He's got every shot in the book. It all seems so effortless.
Yet a Test average of only 30.65 in his 47 Tests to date suggests that he's not made the most of his undoubted talent. This, on occasion, has led to frustration and outright criticism, particularly down in the West Indies.
West Indians have been completely exasperated by Carl Hooper. They've seen him score a century in his first-class innings at the age of 18 against an attack including Wayne Daniel and Sylvester Clarke. And yet, after all this time, he hasn't fulfilled that immense potential. They know that he's a tremendous player. They know he has the potential. And yet, he gets out in such soft manners.
I suppose that's the beauty of his game. He can take you to the heights with some of his stroke play and take you to the lows when he gets out when he shouldn't.
Hooper joined Kent in 1992 and swiftly won over the fans and his teammates as a player of the highest class.
To me, he's the most valued overseas player you can get. He bowls, he bats, he's a top fielder. What more can you ask? He gives 100% all the time. It's not as if he takes his game lightly. It's not as if he goes in and thinks, oh, well, I'm at Test level, let's play a few shots and whatever. He doesn't do that. He works very hard at his game.
I said when we signed him, I thought he'd be one of the best 5 batsmen in the world, and I still think he is. I know he's had a poor series against Australia and come in for a lot of criticism, but there's no doubt about it, he's a much improved player than when he signed for us.
It is frustrating when you've got such great talent as Carl, that when he doesn't produce as often as you think he should produce.
I've had some help with my coach at Kent, much more positive now, and rather than focusing on the negative side of the game, you focus on the positive side.
I could throw the same ball to Carl at a land, say, on off stump, a good length on off stump, and he'd play 3 different shots to me. And, you know, we talked about that. That wasn't percentage as far as I was concerned. And whilst you never want to coach the flair out of anybody, I thought that Hoops just had to sort of perhaps even narrow it down to 2 shots a ball rather than his usual 3 or 4.
His supporters believe that Hooper will still emerge as one of the greats, and the key to it all is to give him more responsibility.
He is the best all-rounder they have. I think what they should do is give him a position of trust, some vice captaincy or something like that.
And Hooper appears to relish the possibility of captaincy if it comes along.
I don't think it's going to happen for the West Indies for sure. I think I probably missed the boat a long time ago. Missed being captain for Ghana and so on. But certainly Kent. I'd love to be given the job for Kent, you know. I don't think the pressure there is as much, you know, but certainly like to do a job for Kent, and I'm sure I can.
This summer may determine whether Hooper will go down in history as a great player or as a great talent that was never fulfilled.
Over the years, it's been a hard struggle for me. There are a lot of things I had, you know, to fight and come to terms with, failure and so on. And I think mentally has made me much stronger, which I think are important, you know, assets to have as an international cricketer. So, you know, I'm not really saying that I have fulfilled my potential or anything like that, but I think it's going to get better.
I think he's probably one of the best talents we have around now. I thought still he's in the probably top 2 players in the world at the moment.
Lara is obviously the best player in the world, but I don't think Carl's far behind.
Hopefully that maybe one day I can sit back at the end of my cricketing career and look back and say, well, yes, I've done the business and could hold my head up high.